Welcome back to All On Review, the channel that tells you whether the newest games releasing are worth your time and money. Today we're talking about Big Walk, the newest game from developer House, whose last game was Untitled Goose Game all the way back in 2019. Just some housekeeping before we get into things. The footage you're seeing on screen was captured on PS5 Pro and is as spoiler-free as possible. There's really no story for me to spoil, but I didn't want to show any solutions to puzzles, so any of the puzzle gameplay I'm showing is either very early or very simple to solve. Also, I played the two-player version of the island and the puzzles in the game, so when I talk about, mechanics or puzzles and my opinion of them, I'm only basing them on that two-player co-op experience. So what is Big Walk? Essentially, Big Walk is a first-person, online, cooperative, semi-open world puzzle game. In the game, you and your friends are tasked with solving puzzles to get these little Russian nesting doll-looking orange objects, which my girlfriend lovingly referred to as nipples. What you do with these objects is plug them into receptors, which unlock a key that has to be cut and molded by nearby stations. These keys are then used to unlock new areas or new ways to traverse the island. One of my only problems with Big Walk is that a couple of the unlocks were really underwhelming. They help travel for sure, but just barely, and one in particular moves way too slow. They are still preferable to walking the whole island, even if you will still be doing a lot of that. The island itself is surprisingly large. This is exaggerated by the fact that a lot of the island is covered by rocky terrain and large hills which have very limited paths to go up or around them. It kinda sucked sometimes to spend 5 minutes walking down a path to discover you couldn't climb up something that you thought you should be able to. Also, make sure at least one of your friends has a flashlight or a lantern, and I'd highly recommend familiarizing yourself with locations of towers or other places you can send out flares to lead each other. Trying to go around at night in the pitch black darkness without a light source is practically impossible, and at least on PS5, there are no in-game brightness options. So that's the island and the core gameplay loop, but what are you actually doing? Well, all of the walking and traversing is ultimately to get to Big Walk's many clever and challenging puzzles. The game's puzzles are largely based on problem solving and creative thinking. Big Walk often takes away your ability to talk to each other and will lock you in 2 separate rooms and make you find other ways to communicate. My recommendation is to fully commit to using the in-game voice chat and don't take shortcuts. The game warns you on startup that it is meant to use the in-game proximity chat, and getting on a Discord or phone call or playing in the same room is kinda cheating. It's like playing Resident Evil with infinite ammo. You'll still probably have fun, but you're spoiling the rewarding challenge. My girlfriend and I had to come up with some ridiculous solutions for the game blocking our communication, like flailing our arms, jumping, tapping on walls and windows, and it was difficult to nail down a surefire code sometimes, but it works. It's challenging but not frustrating. I'm not normally someone who gets very into puzzle games, but Big Walk is special. It really puts your creative problem-solving skills to the test in some crazy ways. And the game fully commits to the co-op premise. You cannot solve any of the puzzles solo.
Oh, cool. I just couldn't see the last one. Okay. Yeah, stuff that they had. Oh, they had all kinds of stuff out here for you, didn't they?
When the game says it's generating an island for 2 players, it's only meant for 2 players. It feels like almost everything in the game was built for cooperative play. For example, you can pick up backpacks and belts in the game, but you can't reach these items. There's no inventory system. Instead, they are simply mobile storage for the other person's equipment. Everything requires cooperation, and is well designed to do so. But it's not just you, your partner, and your fuzzy Muppet hands. Big Walk is full of equipment you can take along with you to make communication and puzzle solving easier. Like I said before, a light source is a must-have so you can still navigate at night, but you also have walkie-talkies, laser pointers, flare guns, megaphones, binoculars, and a few other items I won't spoil. The only one I really didn't find much use for was the scanner that allowed you to see which items you could interact with. The game has a pretty generous learning curve, and you don't really get confused about what you're supposed to do past the first area or so. So how long will Big Walk take you? It took roughly 12 to 13 hours for my partner and I to beat on the first go around, and the platinum took about 20 hours. It's kind of hard to tell. The PlayStation clock is notoriously inaccurate, so that's just a rough estimate based on the adjustments you kind of have to make with it. I know that may not sound like a lot, but the game generates new puzzles per player count, so if we go back in with 3 or 4 players, we'll have new puzzles to figure out with the added players, so I'm not exactly sure how the puzzles change per new person. I'm just kind of assuming that it's the same puzzles, but it takes one more person to do them. Also, the game is free with PS Plus for the month of August and is currently on sale, at least on Switch 2, where I got it for my girlfriend. We played a lot of co-op games together this year, but I can't say that either of us really felt as rewarded by our efforts by any game as much as Big Walk. There were some puzzles that were really taxing to execute, but for the vast majority, we were both laughing when we got the celebratory nipple and talking about how much we liked the puzzle we just did. So who is Big Walk for? If you love puzzle games or have multiple consoles or looking for something approachable for a partner who may be new to gaming or just want a silly fun time to share with your friends, then I cannot recommend Big Walk enough to you. However, if you are mostly a solo or offline gamer, or maybe you don't have anyone to play the game with, I'd probably say skip this one. The game does not have a matchmaking system. Any game you join will require entering a friend code. You can maybe go online to forums or Reddit to find a group, but you may end up with someone who can't or is unwilling to cooperate to solve puzzles. Also, there is no couch co-op because of how the game works. If you're like me and you want to play with someone who lives with you, you'll have to have 2 consoles and 2 copies of the game. No friend pass this time. Overall, Big Walk is one of my favorite games this year and probably one of the best co-op games I've ever played. Despite a couple of nitpicks, I genuinely think Big Walk is the best co-op game this year and reminds me of some of the all-time greats like Portal 2, and in my personal opinion, easily tops Untitled Goose Game. But that's how it goes. I gave you some things I liked, maybe some things I didn't, and now I want to hear from you. Are you planning on getting Big Walk? Have you already beat it? What did you think of Untitled Goose Game? Please let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video or it helped inform your purchasing decision in any way, please consider subscribing. I put out brand new videos like this about once a week, and I'm planning for an absolute whale of a September. You won't want to miss it. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.